The Nintendo Switch has gone from strength to strength since its release in March 2017, starting with Nintendo exclusives such as Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart, and moving on to great third-party games like Octopath Traveler and Hollow Knight. Nobody can argue that there's plenty of fun to be had with the console. But let's say you've got the Switch in 2019 and you're wondering what to pick up next. Well, don't worry dear viewers, that's where I can help. Here are 5 great games to play on the Nintendo Switch in 2019. If you've not heard of Tetris 99, then you may be wondering why this game attracted a large number of players. Releasing early in 2019, this Switch exclusive is actually free providing you're already subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online. It plays like the original highly loved Tetris, but with a battle royale twist. There are 98 other players all trying to Tetris at the same time as you. And by clearing multiple rows or continuously clearing rows, you can send garbage to attack another player. This comes in the form of extra blocks that need to be removed. The game has multiple options to let you choose who to target, and striking the killing blow on another player earns you badges. These allow you to send more and more garbage to your opponents, and that's how you win the game. These extra elements add depth and difficulty to the game, but be warned, it can be quite tough to get that number 1 spot. Every now and then Nintendo hosts special events. These are currently once a month and have different prizes such as themes from other games like Splatoon and gold coins for the Nintendo Rewards program, which you can put towards the eShop. This game is quick and easy to get into, but provides a good challenge and definitely has that just one more game experience. Best of all, it's free, so there's no reason for it not to be on your system. Dragon Quest Builders 2 can be described as a mashup of Minecraft and Dragon Quest, and it can be surprising just how well the two of those things work together. If you're the kind of person who jumped into Minecraft but just didn't know what to do first, then this game might be for you. It's much more structured and comes with a very charming story and cast of characters. However, if the structure isn't what you're after, then don't worry, as this game has plenty of opportunity to just ignore what it wants you to do and build whatever your mind can think of. As an example, you might be asked to build a barn for your workers. Now, you can choose to satisfy this requirement with just the room and the specified tools. By the way, the room doesn't even need to have a roof. Or, if you'd rather, you can put as much work into it as you please. Maybe you want to make it out of a nicer material or put a nice roof on it, give it some extra features and decorations. The choice is entirely up to you. You also get your own private island which you can stay on and build to your heart's content with no direction. The game includes online co-op and the ability to share your island, so it's a great one to play with your friends. And during the extremely long main story, you will continue to unlock more and more features, so if you want it, then Dragon Quest Builders 2 has plenty of content for your money. Also, just a few hours into the game you find a dog, and if you're anything like me, you'll love it forever and protect it and take it on adventures. I mean, just look at this cute little pup. Aww. With 3 houses on the Switch, Fire Emblem returns to our TVs for the first time since the Wii, and boy is it a worthy entry to the series. This game takes the standard Fire Emblem tactical turn-based strategy gameplay and adds deep RPG themes as well as a Persona 5 style scheduling mechanic. Initially this mechanic made me unsure about picking this title up, but I played about 30 hours in 2 weeks whilst doing a full-time job, so trust me when I say it's excellent. The main aspects of the game are the combat, the character development, and the relationships between the characters, and all of these are very well done. You play as a professor, and you really start to care for the students of the house you picked. Each one is different, and they're all interesting. Even the characters that I initially didn't like, I ended up warming to. 3 Houses has the biggest choice at the beginning of the game, where you choose which house you're going to look after. This dictates which students you teach. This means that there's plenty of replayability, because when you come back into it you can pick a different house, and this changes your relationships and also the story. The New Game Plus option seems to be the perfect way to have another go with another house. That, plus the flexibility of building each of your students, means that, like Dragon Quest Builders 2, you could sink a lot of time into this game. For all of these things that I've mentioned and more, this is easily one of my favourite games of this year, and I would definitely recommend picking it up. It's accessible even if you're new to the Fire Emblem series, and overall it's just a great game.
over already.
Super Mario Maker was an amazing game on the Wii U. However, due to the lack of success of the console itself, this title didn't reach the kind of audience you might expect. It was a no-brainer that Nintendo would bring this series back on a more successful console. There are a few different aspects of this game, but first we'll talk about making your own levels. Mario Maker 2 is an amazing playground where your creativity can run wild. There are multiple game styles to choose from, each with different stages like castle, forest, or sky. You can place scenery, monsters, items, various gizmos, and all of these come together to form your vision of how a Mario level should look. This part is the core of the game and is honestly super addictive, trying to make your levels perfect and just how you want them to be. Now, the story mode lets you play a series of levels that are created by Nintendo. These do a good job of letting you learn about the mechanics, and they can spark some ideas of your own. Overall, it's a nice addition to the game, but it's not really what you're there for. Playing levels, however, could be. These are created by the community and is one of the things you'll probably spend a lot of time doing. There are some amazing things put online by some very clever people, and with the amount of levels being uploaded, you will always find something new. Endless mode lets you choose a difficulty and the game will randomly pick creations for you until you run out of lives. This is a nice way to just dive in if you don't want to sift through and choose something yourself. Overall, this game is a fantastic release for 2019, and if you have any interest in Mario at all, you won't regret picking this up. Even if you're not the creative type, there's countless hours of fun just playing levels created by the community. Okay, so you got me. This last entry is cheating a little. Splatoon 2 actually came out in 2017 and was one of the first titles to come to the Switch. It's hugely popular and a great online game. So why is it on this list? Well, recently Nintendo announced that they were no longer making updates for Splatoon 2, so there's been some word on the internet that the game is dying, and because of that, I suspect that some people might look at it and think it's not worth picking up. Contrary to this belief, I actually think that 2019 is a great time to buy Splatoon 2. Sure, there won't be any more Splatfests, and those were exciting, but all the rest of the content that has been slowly added to this game over the past 2 years will just be there waiting for you. You'll have access to it as soon as you unlock it in-game, and this includes the Octo expansion if you're willing to pay for the DLC. For anyone who doesn't know what Splatoon 2 is, it's an online multiplayer shooter where your objective is to paint the floor. Several other modes do exist once you get further into the game, but for the casual audience, this is the game type you'll probably be spending most of your time in. There are all sorts of wacky weapons like paint guns, paint brushes, buckets of paint. Each have their own moves and special abilities to go with them. You can also customize your character's clothing to give different stat boosts. If you don't like competitive play, then the Salmon Run mode is a co-op wave defense that has you collect eggs for rewards. This mode also works as a good way to practice different type of weapons and find out what you might like, as it randomly switches what you can use. Also included is a single player story, and the Octo expansion that I mentioned before is a fully single player campaign with 80 levels. This good-natured game has something for everyone in 2019. And there you have it, folks. These are my 5 games to buy on the Nintendo Switch in 2019. I hope you found at least one game that you consider picking up. For more content like this, please don't forget to like it and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.